Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Madam Nur Akmal. Our group will be explaining to you about two questions that has been given by our lecturer to fulfill our requirement for STA 206 Probability and Mathematical Statistics. Before we jump into our presentation, allow me to introduce to you about my group. My name is Muhammad Aqil Aiman Bin Mohd Khalil and my student ID is 2021 449 and 524. Also, my pair is Muhammad Nurismail bin Mohd Jamil with student ID 2021 883 and 362. So, I will explain first about the first question. This question has given us a situation in a supermarket where there are two customers waiting for the purchases at counter 1 and a customer at counter 2. From here, we have already gotten some informations where customers who spend more than 50 ringgit on grocery store is denoted as X1 and X2 at the respective counter. Also, X1 and X2 are independent binomial random variable. Independent in this question means that event of X1 is not related with the event of X2. Let's move to the question A. State the joint probability mass function PMF of X1 and X2 based on the case study. So, we have known the number of trials and probability of X1 are 2 and 0.2 respectively, while for the X2 it will be 1 and 0.3 respectively. To find the joint PMF, we have to use binomial formula and then sum all the numbers of trials. In the end, you will get the both answer is equal to 1. This is because total probability is equal to 1. But remember to write down the final answer like this. For question B, we have to find the joint PMF of X1 and X2 in tabular form. This question is related with question A, where you still have to use the binomial formula to find the probability for each of the trials from X1 and X2. From question C, we have to find the marginal distribution of X1 and X2 in tabular form. From the table that we have created in question B, we just have to add another column and row. To find F1x, just sum all the probability from the X1 column, while to find F2x2, just sum all the probability from the X2 row. For question D, we have to find the probability that not more than one of the three customers will spend more than 50 ringgit. We have to understand that to find this probability, we need to use all of the three customers because of the joint case. Thus, the notation is P in bracket X1 plus X2 is lesser or equal to 1. So, we will get the probability is equal to 0.864. For the last question, we have to determine the mean and variance of W is equal to 3x1 minus 2x2 plus 5. Before we calculate the value of W, we need to find the mean and the variance based on the marginal table from question C. Calculate the value of EX1, EX1 square, EX2, EX2 square, VX1 and VX2 so that we can calculate the value of EW and VW. Just substitute the value into the formula and you will get the mean of W is equal to 6.8 and the variance of W is equal to 3.72. That's all from me. Let's move on to the question 2.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nurismail bin Mohd Jamil from class 3D and my ID number is 2021883362. So today I will make a presentation about question 2. So question 2 is let Y1 denote the weight in tons of a bulk item stock by a supplier at the beginning of a week and suppose that Y1 has a uniform distribution over the interval 0-1. Let Y2 denote the amount by weight of this item sold by the supplier during the week and given the conditional distribution of Y1 and Y2. So given that Y2 and Y1 equal to 1 over Y1, where 0 is smaller n equal with Y2 and smaller n equal with Y1 and 0 elsewhere. So question A, find the joint function of Y1 and Y2. To find the joint function of Y1, I find that Y1 is given uniform on 0 and 1. So I calculate it and I get 1 and I use the formula of f y2 and y1, so I get 1 over y1. So the joint function of y1 is 1 over y, where 0 is lesser and equal with y2 and lesser and equal with y1, and lesser and equal with 1 and 0 elsewhere. So the next question is B. Sketch the base of surface based on the case study. So this is what I sketched, and the area shaded is on the bottom because it is stated that y2 is smaller than y1. So the next question is C. Does the answer in B satisfy the assumption of joint probability density function? So there is two steps to show that the assumption is satisfied. The first one is we need to it is given that fy1 y2 greater and equal to 0 for all y1 and y2, and fy1 y2 equal to 1 over y1. So in this case, when f00 is we will get 0 and it is satisfied, and when f11 we also will get 1, which is it is stated in the joint function of y1 and y2. Next, the second step is we need to differentiate the equation, and at the last we will get 1 minus 0 and we will get 1, which is satisfied the assumptions. So the assumptions of joint probability density function are satisfied. Okay, next is D. If the supplier stocks a half ton of the item, what is the probability that she sells more than a quarter ton? So we need to find the probability of y2 is greater than 1 over 4 and y1 equal to 1 over 2. So we calculate it in the equation, and we will get 1 over 2 or 0.5. Next is the last question. If it is known that the supplier sold a quarter ton of the item, what is the probability that she has stock more than a half ton? So first we need to find the marginal density of y2. So I get negative ln y2. Therefore, fy2 is equal to negative ln y2, where 0 is smaller and equal to y2 and smaller and equal to 1. So next we need to find the probability of y1 greater than 1 over 2 and y2 equal to 1 over 4, and I get negative 1 over y1 times ln y2. So the last probability of y1 greater than 1 over 2 and y2 equal to 1 over 4, I get 1 over 1.3863 times 0 minus negative 0.69315. So simplify it and get 0.5. Thank you.